What's going on, folks? We are here for another wrestling rant. The wrestling rant is a weekly rant I go on about the wrestling that I watched this past week. And boy, oh boy, it's all about Wrestlemania. Can't even lie about that. Monday Night Raw, watched it. I can't remember what happened on it because it was everything was leading up to WrestleMania. Same thing for SmackDown, leading up to Mania. I couldn't remember what happened on them shows. Mania kind of pushed that out of my brain. And also NXT, that Stand and Deliver, that pushed it out the brain too. AEW, I did watch Dynamite. I watched Dynamite. Boy, I watched Dynamite. But it was a bright spot on Dynamite. It was a bright spot. I can't say this was a bright spot. Death Riders finally lost. They're not the Trios champ anymore, thank goodness. But we'll get to that. But no, let's get to that right now. Like I said, because SmackDown and Raw, I don't know. I forgot. But Dynamite, they lost the Trios. The Death Riders finally lost the Trios title. Bunch of on hard tournament matches. Everything's it's just incoherent storyline. People are when is Moxley going to lose? When is Moxley going to lose? I mean, the Young Bucks being back in the fray doesn't help anything. They're just as not over as Moxley is. So just be done with that already. Now let's get to the main event. Let's get to WrestleMania. Nope. Let's do it right first. NXT Stand and Deliver. Now, I don't watch NXT that regularly to know all the storyline that's going on behind these matches. But I can say this. The women's Fatal 4-Way, solid match. With Stephanie Valkyria won, solid match. The men's match with Trick Williams, Obafemi, and Javante Evans, solid match. I can say that too. Stand and Deliver, for the most part, did deliver. The NXT cast put on a good. They put on a not cast NXT wrestlers. They put on a good show. They put on a solid show. Some of the matches had some low moments. I'm like, all right, whatever. But all in all, man, it was they perform. They perform, and I also saw clips from GCW where Natalia fought under Natalie Neidhart, and she did an underground match, her carrying Cross, and they both won their match, which was good. I'm glad, and Shayna Baszler too. So I'm glad they're able to get something done like that. All right, so that was Stand and Deliver, also Underground. Now WrestleMania Night 1. We open the show, Jay versus Gunther. The match wasn't bad. It wasn't like, a class or anything like that. They think of like a Steamboat Flair or anything like that. However, it got the story, and it got the story across, and it told it, and it got Jay over in a big way, and now he is the World Heavyweight Champion. I'm curious how that's going to play into some things too, because that can diverge into a whole lot of different areas of our storyline goes. So I'm curious about that. How long did I have Jay's title run be? Jay don't need a long title run. He don't need to have it for like 6 months or a year, anything like that. No, he doesn't need a long title run. So I'm just curious to see how they're going to do that with Jay. So, new World Heavyweight Champion. First match in. The next match, I gotta admit, I knew Jay match would bring the crowd up, and this one would bring them down. The New Day versus the War Raiders. the match that I don't think should have been at WrestleMania. However, I am glad that the New Day are the new tag team champs. I'm glad about that. Glad they beat the War Raiders. The match was, I gotta admit, this was one I kind of zoned out on. I watched it, but I didn't watch it. I couldn't really say what happened in it, but I know New Day won. And there was some heelish actions. Chewing gum. Now, we got Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. Was that night 1 or 2? I forget. No. That was night 2. My bad. Night 1. Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, in which Fatu, United States champ. And I mean, man, Jacob Fatu, I'm telling you, next year, the way he performed at WrestleMania, next year, man, he will be in a much more prominent spot. Man, that dude is the truth. Then we got the match. Probably, I gotta say, the match that when it started, I was like, oh man. And when it ended, I was like, oh man. Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton for the women's title. And when Tiffany did her entrance, which was shocking to me because she came out first and she's the champ. So Tiffany did her entrance and then Charlotte came out and fell asleep. That match put me to sleep. I said, oh boy. Dozed off immediately. Woke up to see the prettiest moonsault and Tiffany looked like she missing a tooth. That's what I woke up and saw. I was like, oh man. I completely dozed off on that match. I don't know what happened during it. But Tiffany won. Then we got the main event. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. And man, they had such a good back and forth between all of them. Everyone getting on, Roman getting on offense, then Seth getting on offense, then CM Punk getting on offense, and Roman taking over. That was one of the best triple threat matches I've ever seen. As far as what it did is the story it was telling, and just the emotion you can feel during the match, it was great. And what we get, everyone knows Paul Heyman can't stay a good guy for long. No, he's a heel by nature. So yes, when he handed CM Punk the chair, slid it to him. He looked at Roman, shook his head no, slid the chair to CM Punk. CM Punk picks up the chair, ready to crack Roman. And what do we get? Low blow! Boom! From the wise man. And low blow CM Punk. Drops him. Then what happens? Roman thinks, oh man, my wise man is with me. And Paul Heyman gives a big old shout. Look, it's right there for you, my tribal chief. So he can blast Seth Rollins in the back with the chair again. But before he can, Paul Heyman gives him a low blow with an extra little sauce on it too, with the side-to-side motion. And Seth Rollins is a Paul Heyman guy now. So I wonder who else is going to be in that group with them. Because what happened this past Monday night, it's a brand new member there that's going to be aligning himself with Paul Heyman. And I think that is going to do wonders for his career. Absolute wonders for it. So that was night 1 of WrestleMania. And I got to admit, night 1, besides from the last match, it didn't feel like a WrestleMania. it did not feel like WrestleMania. It felt like a SmackDown or Raw until the last match. I felt like, oh man, this is a big time thing right here. The last match. Night 2 did not feel like that at all. That was WrestleMania from start to finish. Because I can say this, Night 2, opening match, Bianca Belair, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley. Man, they absolutely crushed it. They killed it during that match. It was so, I was up the whole time. I knew Io would pull it out, but at the same time, it was good. It was really good. That match was very good. I was excited about that. Then we got Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, and that match was good. I'm not a big Priest fan. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not a big Priest fan. He won me over with this match, though. He won me over with this match, and I've been a fan of Drew's for years. And I remember I liked Drew McIntyre when he was the chosen one, and we know who chose him back then. But Drew McIntyre's been killing it the last couple of years. He's been on fire, and this match was dope. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Then after that, it was, I know I'm going out of order, but AJ Styles, Logan Paul. That match was good. The build for it was weird, and the ending I kind of like, I wasn't a big fan of the ending. But the match itself, great, man. Logan Paul, man. That guy. I don't say what you will, man. He may be a jerk outside of the ring and as a personality. I don't know him, but the persona he gives off the TV, he's kind of obnoxious. Say what you will, man, but he is talented in that ring. But that move he came up with, that DDT, that's solid. I like it. He executes it well. After that, Randy Orton and his challenge. And who comes out? Joe Hendry. To such a pop from the crowd. Oh my goodness, man. That crowd went crazy for Joe Hendry. And then Joe got in the ring with Randy, doing this thing, and got some offense on Randy. Got the tight camera shot on him. RKO out of nowhere. Now that was cinematic. That was amazing. That was so dope. Randy got Joe Henry, got the crowd behind him and everything. They hit him with a second RKO because that's Randy. But I think, man, Joe Henry is gonna be probably get him and gonna be in WWE in the next year or so. Because that show he had at WrestleMania, yeah, that was good. That was real good for him. And it was so much fun to see. It was so hype, man. Then we got finally, the big tag match between Liv Morgan, Raquel against Laura Valkyrie and a mystery partner who happens to be Becky Lynch. Yes, the man returned. And boy, oh boy, I can wait for that match to be over. I couldn't wait for that match to be over with. It couldn't be over with fast enough for me. And also, what was Liv wearing? I didn't see much, and what I saw didn't look like it was all a whole outfit. But she had that on, and Becky and Lyra won. They are the new women's tag champs. And again, I'm glad that match didn't go that long. The main event of the evening. And I wanted that women's tag match to go earlier in the card too, but when I saw that Becky came back, okay, fair enough. But we got the main event where Cody Rhodes faces the greatest of all time, John Cena. and they had a wrestling match. An old school wrestling match that was slow paced, more so John Cena speed. And I wasn't mad at it. I was not mad at it at all. And the one thing I was truly livid at, Travis Scott. Why, oh why, were you involved in the undisputed heavyweight championship match? Why were you involved in that in any way, shape, form, or fashion? Why? I don't need Travis Scott in my wrestling. I was glad when Cody gave him the Crossroads. I was hoping he'd get him with something a little bit stiffer. But he gave him the Crossroads nonetheless. But him, and he came out there too, and he took forever getting down to the ring. Why you walking slow, man? Hurry up! And I heard, another thing too. I heard Fiend so much at WrestleMania. I'm like, hey man, y'all ain't gotta play this song every time. Like, my goodness. But his interference caused John Cena to get the title. Him and Cody have a struggle for it. Cody wins. Cena kicks him in the balls, takes the belt, cracks him upside the head, wins. 1, 2, 3. New undisputed champ. And his name is John Cena. And that was WrestleMania. Like I said, night 2 felt like WrestleMania. I mean, night 2 was it. The women set the pace for that. Like, they set the pace for that for night 2, and they kept it up all night. They set the tone. The crowd was more up and everything. It was, man, night 2 was great. Now, my overall critique for WrestleMania, I gotta give it an A-, only because it had the I forgot Chad Gable. I forgot about Chad Gable and Rey Fenix. That match was good. Good match. Rey Fenix filled in at the last minute for Rey Mysterio due to an injury. But that match was good. That match was fun to watch. I like Rey Fenix. And Chad Gable, a.k.a. Air Americano, is pretty good too. That doggone reverse 450 hit was insane. I'm like, yo, you just smacked him at. But that was crazy to pull off. But all in all, man, WrestleMania was great. The CM Punk hype package, I done watched that like 7 or 8 dozen times now. When they were playing his old theme song from Kill Switch, oh my goodness, man, that was amazing. So that WrestleMania, the week in wrestling, I can say A-, because it was a couple matches and they're like, all right, enough of this, or like, all right, why is this happening? That could have went by the wayside to me, but man, it was so. And then what happened on Monday Night Raw? Might as well throw that in there too. What happened last night on Monday Night Raw? But Heyman and Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, they came out. Seth ended the show because he won the match that decides custody of Paul Heyman, and he has full custody of Mr. Heyman. And they came out. CM Punk came out first. They got into a tiff. Punk got knocked down. Then Roman Reigns came out. He came in. He speared Seth. And then Roman got speared by the future Braun Breaker. He got speared by Braun Breaker. So Braun Breaker is the Paul Heyman guy, along with Seth, and they got their clique now. So I wonder who's going to be new to it, because not only did that happen last night on Raw, the Lyra Valkyrie and Becky Lynch, they defended their titles against Liv Morgan and Raquel immediately. lost them immediately. They were champions for less than a day. And Becky just started beating up Lyra. I'm like, well, okay. I was never a big Becky Lynch fan. I like this one. I like this version. She's gonna be, she's gonna be this type of Becky. I'm here for it. Let's go. Is she gonna line up? Is she gonna be aligned with Paul Heyman and them? Is she gonna do that? Oh no, I had a thought, but Lord, I had a thought, and I hope it's wrong. Are they gonna show Moxley how to do the Death Riders? They got the lead. The Seth is the leader. He's far more charismatic than Moxley. They got the muscle Claudio. They got the muscle Claudio for Death Riders, but that's Braun Breaker. He's the muscle. Becky Lynch could be either Marina Shafir, but can actually put on a match, unlike the real Marina Shafir, who can't, to save her life. It's just terrible. So who's next? I'm curious now. Who could be the next one a part of the group? Who's gonna be next? Because they got Braun Breaker, and yeah, he's definitely the future of wrestling. I mean, could it be a New Age Evolution? I mean, or it's just their own thing? I think you know what? Let it be its own thing. Let's not be a reiteration of anything. Let it be his own little group, his own little clique doing their own thing. I'm here for it. So that was wrestling all in all, man. Let me know what y'all think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, comment. We here, man. We out here. We got our YouTube numbers going up. Facebook, y'all. Thank you so much for all the love, support, and appreciation. It is so appreciated. Y'all just don't know how much it's appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, ring that bell, let the notifications go off. Let us know that it's real. Peace, y'all.